Hi everyone. The topic of today's discussion is on stimulus variation. We shall learn the skills for enhancing the stimulus variation. This is also another part of micro teaching. So let us understand what stimulus variation is. As you see the slide, it states that stimulus variation is described as deliberate change in the behavior of the teacher in order to sustain the attention of the learner throughout the lesson. It determines teacher's liveliness in the classroom. So, what did you understand by this? It states that in a classroom, a teacher needs to use variety of techniques with regards to their movement, with regards to their facial expression, their hand-eye coordination, the eye movement, the eyebrows movement, the modulation of their voice, the pitch pattern, how fast, how slowly, the pause, and so on and so forth. So when a teacher does this, like take for example, a teacher moves inside the classroom. As a teacher needs to move inside the classroom. The teacher needs to approach, to go closer to the student, then towards the board, then show the teaching aids. So all those activities are nothing but the stimulus variation of the teacher. So as the teacher are engaged in these sort of stimulus variation, the students are attentive and they are motivated to listen and participate in the classroom. It sustains the attention level of the learner. Is that clear? If a teacher stands in one corner, one side, and keep on explaining, staring just a particular student, then the teaching will not be effective. Clear? So we shall know more about stimulus variation, and the idea about stimulus variation will be much more clearer as we proceed ahead. Okay? So the main purpose of stimulus variation, you should understand that it is for making the classroom more lively and interesting, more appealing. Clear? So let us see. So how and in which way stimulus variation can be adopted? Okay? As we know, as I have already stated, the main purpose of stimulus variation is what? It is to sustain the attention of the pupil. So let us see how this can be done. Movement while teaching. As I have already stated, the teacher needs to move. But the thing is that the movement should be meaningful. The constant movement of the teacher is not acceptable. Teacher moving from one side to the other, then going towards the student in an unorganized manner, it is not desirable, it is not accepted. It should be the movement should be meaningful. Okay, so I shall speak more about it. Let us see to it first. Now, modulation of the teacher's voice and change in speech pattern. The voice modulation. Also, you will see that if a teacher speaks in the same tone without any modulation, when you say something, it should reflect something interesting. If you say it is nice, if you say it is nice, it sounds like what is it all about? It's nice, but the expression doesn't seems like. But if you say it's really nice. So that sounds, you see, it is more appealing. So your voice modulation will depend a lot on the content, obviously, and this voice modulation will attract the students to be attentive. There should be change in the speech pattern as well. That is again very important. Okay. So coming to the next is change in interacting styles. So the teacher needs to adopt different way of interacting. Sometimes the teacher needs to go closer to the board, write, speak to the pupil, show a slide, maybe a model, a chart, so and so forth. So in this way, the interaction pattern, if it changes, then definitely the interest level among the learner will be sustained. The gestures, the movement of the eye, the body movement, the slow pattern of walking, all those should be involved while teaching. Focusing on the topic taught, okay, focusing on the student, focusing on the slide or model, focusing on the board work. All these should be interrelated and it should create a meaningful environment, okay, very interesting environment. Then oral visual switching, as the teacher is speaking, the teacher displays a flip card or a chart or directs students' attention to the board. So as the teacher is speaking, the teacher is involved showing things, showing all those that are related to the lesson. It should be relevant. The posture of the teacher. Now it is also very important. If a teacher just, there are most teachers who thinks that the chair and the table is the sole property of theirs. They enter the classroom, the first thing is that they will sit, take the attendance and then start up the class, then finish and moves out of class. So this is a very uninteresting way of dealing with the lessons. The posture of the teacher here, it implies that the movement of the teacher should not bend themselves. The teacher should not lean on the chair. The teacher should not lean on the wall. All these unacceptable postures should be avoided. The teacher should not be with folded hands, putting their hands inside the pocket, or keep on rubbing the mouth or eyes. All these things should be avoided because it will distract the attention of the learner. Most of the time, if you see like teacher, they wear a very colorful dress or something, and it also happens in case of lady teacher. They put on the sari or churni, it keeps on falling, and they keep on setting it. So these sort of unnecessary interference or barriers should be avoided, because the students, instead of listening to you, they will be looking at your dress, looking at what you are doing. So all these should be omitted. Is that clear? So the posture of the teacher is also very important. The teacher should not stand in one place and keep on explaining, giving lectures. No, they need to make the students participate. They need to move towards the board, write, speak. Everything should be interlinked. Clear? And also this pause, silence is also important. The silence should be meaningful. if a teacher keeps on speaking fast without pausing, one after the other, that becomes uninteresting. It will not be interesting. So in order to motivate or arouse the interest level in the learner, the teacher should create a meaningful pause, a brief pause. This pause and silence should also be very meaningful. Now, when I say pause, sometimes it might relate to your classroom teaching, that we find that some students are disturbing the class while explaining. So what the teacher can do is, the teacher can maintain silence and turn around the eyes. Then what happened? The student will be silent, thinking what's happening, okay? The teacher is looking. So this is a very good technique to maintain discipline inside the classroom. Okay? But also, you should remember, silence can be an effective technique to arouse the attention level among the learners. Clear? So we see, when I was speaking about the movement while teaching, in this case, what happens is that the teacher should meaningfully make the movement. Sometimes the teacher needs to approach towards the student, but not so close, okay? Not so close. Then again, the teacher, while explaining or maybe asking questions, can approach to another student or maybe check the writing of the student. Clear? And as the movement is being done, the teacher should rotate, make a round of, you see, the teacher needs to look at each and every student. The teacher should not focus on a particular side of the student. The eyes should rotate around while explaining. When a teacher explains, the hand movement, okay, that is also important because it adds colors to the explanation and expression of the teacher. So the movement should be meaningful. Too much movement should also be omitted. Meaningful movement are advisable to be carried out inside the classroom. Clear? So let us proceed ahead. Coming to the components of stimulus variation, as I have already stated, this particular movement. Now, movement means the teacher is trying to gain the attention of the learner. So therefore, the movement should be meaningful. Clear? This sort of movement can arouse the attention level among the learners. But if too much movement is there, then it will distract the attention level of the learner. So movement should be meaningful. As I said earlier, I repeat again, movement towards the board for writing or for pointing at something. That means the teacher is trying to focus the attention of the learner. The teacher wants the learner to look at the board. Then movement towards the model or a chart, any teaching aids. Movement towards the students All these sort of movements should be meaningful. The teacher should not be a statue. Clear? Alright, coming to the next is gestures. As I already stated, the hand movement, the head movement, turning around, looking at each student, the facial gesture, the smile, the light smile of eyes and the face, the lips, then raising the eyebrows, the emotion when they speak, okay, the walking posture, or maybe the shoulder movement, okay, the gesture through shoulder posture. All these adds expression to teaching, and thus making teaching more interesting and sustaining. Clear? So coming to the next is change in voice. I have already stated. So once again I state that as a component, this is also very important. The teacher needs to change the voice in a way depending upon what the teacher is teaching. If the teacher says the mountain was really very high, okay, so that depends. The student should see it. The student should be able to picturize what the teacher is saying. So if the voice modulation is such, then definitely the students will be able to picturize the event or the moment. Clear? So in this way, the interest level, the motivation level, the attention level of the learner can be sustained. The next is focusing. Okay, focusing implies drawing the attention of the learner towards a particular point of discussion. While the teacher is teaching, as the teacher is using the oral, verbally the teacher is explaining, the teacher using the pointer maybe point out certain thing shown in the board, written in the board, then gradually shows the chart, switching to the models, then suddenly asking the pupil to spell it out something, or to give a meaning of certain words. So this way the teacher can draw the attention of the learner. Clear? So focusing is very important. The teacher should add all these varieties in the teaching learning process. Then only interest level among the learners can be sustained. Clear? So switching to the next is eye contact and eye movement. This is again very important component. The teacher needs to, if you remember during your school days or your college days, you must have come across some teachers that they look up, or they look at one direction while teaching, or they look down while teaching, or they teach by just reading the text. So all these are not creative way of teaching. It will create boredom among the learners. So in order to sustain, in order to make the students alert for the day's lesson, that eye to eye contact is very important. And this eye to eye contact is not with the selective few students, but it should be for all the students. In fact, this eye-to-eye contact will also help you maintain discipline inside the classroom. It will help you to create silence inside the classroom. The students will not be disturbing you while explaining. Okay, while explaining. So it helps you controlling the classroom situation. I hope that is clear. Now coming to the pausing, this is again another very important component, as I said earlier. But the pause should be brief, short. Clear? So what happens is that when a teacher explains something, the teacher need to pause a while so that the student gets chance to reflect on what the teacher has spoken or delivered. This sort of pause will again attract and sustain the attention of the learner. Remember, the pause should never be too long. Clear? So pause is necessary. As I said earlier, it is necessary to sustain the interest level of the learner. And the next tip, what did I say? The key point of pause. It is to maintain discipline. That's the sacred. Alright? So that's very important. I hope you all have understood. If you have any doubts, anything, you are most welcome to give your feedback. Okay? I shall be expecting your feedback. So as of today, we discussed about the stimulus variation. So you can imagine, right, how stimulus variation can arouse the motivation of the learner. Isn't this important? Yes, it is an important skill that every teacher needs to possess. We should be a dynamic teacher. You say, like, we should try out different means to teach. Not just, your task is not just to cover up the unit. Everybody can do that. But how, how you're delivering the lesson, how much appealing it is, how much motivating it is, it will depend upon that particular teacher. You will see that you can test this, okay? You can verify it yourself. Supposing one particular lesson, okay, 3 teachers, supposing you have assigned 3 teachers to teach one particular lesson. What will happen? If supposing this is lesson, okay, one lesson, you have assigned this lesson, the same lesson, to 3 teachers. Now, do you think that the output of these 3 teachers will be the same? Do you think so? Never. The output will never be same. Okay? Because no matter the lesson is same, but how the teacher has delivered, that is the real matter. Okay? That's the real thing. Supposing this particular teacher is more effective in teaching than this particular teacher. Okay, so but this particular teacher is not as effective than this particular teacher. So ultimately, how to has taught the lesson differs to that how A and how B has dealt with it. Clear? So in this way, we see that the same topic or the same unit taught by different teachers will be different. The If it is for the same class, supposing class 10 student, same class, okay, same school, same class, but the students might find only 2 to be an effective teacher. Why this is so? This is because two teacher, alright, this particular teacher has made use of varied ways of teaching. The teacher has added the stimulus variation. The teacher has the skill of questioning. The teacher has the skill of explaining with illustration, explaining it. Clear? Teacher is able to reinforce the student in a particular way. The teacher is using certain examples which are relevant and interesting. The voice modulation, the teaching aids that the teacher is using is also very interesting. So all these factors creates a suiting and a dynamic classroom environment. So as a teacher, one needs to develop the skill, and therefore micro teaching is very important part in the B.Ed training program. Okay, it is all about developing skills, and if you are not polished or refined in any of the skill, then definitely your teaching will not be so much interesting. Okay, it will not be as interesting as those teachers who has already developed the skills. So that's the reason I've really tried my best to explain each part of the skills in a very systematic way and taking time. But in case if I still fail to do so, you're most welcome to give your feedback. I can come up with a much more better technique to deal with it. Okay, so your constructive feedback is welcome. Okay, you're most welcome to give your constructive feedback. So that's all for today. Stay fine. Take care of everyone associating with you, your neighbors, your friends, or everybody. Spread happiness. Be a good human. Clear? So see you all in my next session. Till then, take care.